that information on.
We'll get it to you, Robbie.
Phil, maybe we should.
Okay, Steph, please.
Movie idea.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Steph Walker. Thanks for giving up your weekend for this. I'm here on the weekend so that I can kind of cast my hats aside, my most significant one being as Executive Director of Word Christchurch. So I just want to be here as myself, as a Christchurch citizen. My family moved here when I was approximately 4 3/4, and I've left twice. Once to study and work in Wellington in the UK. I came back in 2010 to get the Christchurch Arts Festival up and running again with Philip Tremewan, and I left after we did that successfully amid all the shaky times and went to Australia to work on bigger projects with bigger budgets. So while there I worked at Carriage Works, a contemporary arts centre, in the City of Sydney Council's events team, at Sydney Festival, across many international festivals within the Adelaide Festival Centre and Adelaide Festival itself, before I took a senior leadership role at the Auckland Arts Festival, and now I'm home again. I came back because after a decade, like so many, I could see that the time is ripe for Christchurch, and so I think this long-term plan is a really important moment. The possibility here is bubbling to the surface, and I applaud the council for seeing that Christchurch can be a cultural powerhouse. I was so excited to see that there, so I'm here because I believe that, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. I also hope that you recognise that all the support that you've seen come through the submissions for the Arts Centre isn't just about the Arts Centre. It shows a strong will and support from our citizens for arts, culture, creativity and Ngātoi Māori to be central to our lives here. To fund the Arts Centre can't be at the detriment of other companies and organisations in the city making arts, culture and creativity happen. They said themselves, they're unique. So when you're looking at how to find that extra pūtea to support the Arts Centre, please don't take this from any existing funding from the sector and community. It needs to be and, not and or. Besides, without local artists and companies, the Arts Centre won't have a program anyway. Perhaps the council could look at the Auckland Regional Amenities Funding Act or the Regional Amenities Fund in the Wellington region and look at utilising the Greater Christchurch Partnership to create a joint funding mechanism for events and venues that are in Christchurch with high regional visitation, much like the Te Kaha ask, but a little bit more formal and regular. I wrote in my submission about how growing the local now means you're developing something truly excellent on a national and even global scale. I've been thinking about this local development further since I put in my submission, particularly in light of Christchurch NZ funding the Dock Edge Festival to come to Christchurch, and with the Buskers RFP out after a few years of an Australian company running the show. We have some brilliant festivals here in Christchurch with really unique selling propositions. I'm a little bit biased, but Word Christchurch, which is a festival about words in all their forms. There's Open Christchurch, celebrating the city's built form. Flair, making use of the city's walls and spaces. Te Rama Mai being so grounded in Te Ao Māori, the Arts Centre's offerings, even Kids Fest is actually becoming quite a unique offering in this country. So I'd like the council's events team to better intersect with Christchurch NZ on a strategy to enable the development and growth of our own local events and our own local festival specialists, rather than fly-in festivals and organisations who aren't based here and aren't necessarily developing talent here. Now, there's been some talk, the rumour mills fly around Christchurch, about the demise of the Christchurch Arts Festival. And in the next 3 to 5 years, I think there's a lot more to be gained by further investing in festivals that are still surviving and looking at new models of achieving essentially an arts festival in the city through collective mahi between our arts organisations, our festivals and venues, because we're not afraid of new ideas in the city, so why not look at a new way of bringing nationally and internationally recognised arts into the city. Now, I'm a producer, so I'm a pragmatist. I know rates can't keep going up and up, but I also know that our local companies making everything happen in the arts, culture and creativity sector have already trimmed all the fat off. With a small amount of further investment and I think some really clever enabling strategies, we can grow and develop the city to be that cultural powerhouse we aspire to. Kia ora.
Thank you very much. Any questions, anyone? Tim.
It was CNZ that brought in the company to take over buskers, but do you think in the arts it's always good to have a wee bit of crossover? Because if you are, say, like China in 1400s, they closed their borders and it went reverse. They had amazing arts and technology that they could have shared with the world, etc. But they made a decision. If we were to do the same with that, because following the earthquakes, our companies that were based here went national to survive. So we can't just be.
Oh, I
Just thinking.
absolutely agree with you. But what we saw with Strut and Fret taking over the Buskers Festival is they just flew in and flew out. They didn't develop an office here. They weren't developing any talent. There's a lot of local artists on the ground who refused to work with them because of some of their practices.
So it could have been done better.
It could be done better, and I think, we need to keep sustaining local practice. And yeah, people will go and go big, go global, which is great. But we want to keep people coming back here.
Well, it was created here too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Thank you. And Ruben, please.